Hello and welcome to a new lesson, Definition of Language by Edward Sapir. Lecture 7. Edward Sapir says, language is a purely human and non-instinctive methods communicating ideas, emotions and desires by means of a system of voluntarily produced symbols. In this definition, we have some important terms, and the most important one is purely human. Language is a purely human refers to the idea that language is the area of experience that belongs to the human race. Animals for that matter cannot speak language. They may have their own language to communicate with one another, but they are not the language that could generate ideas and that could invent things. Now let's move to the next point. Non-instinctive methods. Language is also a non-instinctive way of expression. There are two terms: instinctive way of expressing something and non-instinctive way of expressing something. Instinctive way is a natural way, like the way you walk. Sometimes you don't know how you walk. You open and close your eyes normally in a minute. You don't know how many times you do it. Scratching your head, you don't know when and how do you do it. There are some instinctive activities, spontaneous activities, natural activities that happen by nature, that happen spontaneously. Without yourself being conscious, you are doing those things. Language is not an instinctive way of expression. Language is non-instinctive. That is to say, you have to make deliberate attempt to express yourself. You are trained to learn the language. You are made to learn the language, to speak the language. That is the point here being referred to non-instinctive methods. Communicating ideas, emotions and desires. Of course, language helps us to express ideas, emotions and our desires. Without language, we as humans cannot exist in the society. By means of a system of voluntarily produced symbols. And how do we communicate ideas? By a system of voluntarily produced symbols. That is to say, we follow the system of a speech. We follow the system in which a spoken form is organized through various alphabetical vocal symbols. Here, voluntarily produced symbols refer to 44 sounds in English language. So, what we have come to know in this definition is that language is a purely human. It is a non-instinctive way of expression. Language helps us to communicate ideas, emotions and desires. And we communicate and express ourselves through a system of phonetic alphabets, phonetic symbols. In other words, we can refer them to organs of a speech. They help us to produce particular sound to express something. That is the idea. Now, let's have review of definition. Language is a purely human and non-instinctive methods communicating ideas, emotions and desires by means of a system of voluntarily produced symbols. In this brief lesson, I hope you understand the definition. Thank you and goodbye.